So here we are. It's been a few months. We are now at the final round of the Racing Pals Skip Barber Championship Series 3. And the final round will be taking us here to Interlagos. We're coming up to just the end of the practice session now, about 2 minutes left according to the clock timer we are watching down at turn 1. 1 minute in time, watching as the cars head down from the start finish line. You can see we've got the advertisement up and about all the way around. We've got the Pirelli P0s and all the cars in the pit lane there getting ready. That's one of the waifu hunters. It seems quite popular that they're cutting across the white lines on pit entry. We're just watching some cars come through turn 1, so without further ado, So, up to date? That is up to date. Here is your current driver standing. Leading the championship, 15 points ahead of tied second is Ed Costetta, with Darkest and Milk tied second at 15 points. In fourth is Suicidal Cookie at 145, Jacob the Snack in fifth at 143, Ledger Sloth in sixth at 139. 10 points behind him is Lady Oscar, and at 119 points is Notley, who cannot make today's race apparently. Sub-Night, Automated Luxury and Jort hang up the 9th, 10th and 11th at 110, 101 and 92 points respectively. Then 12th. Then going down the grid in 12th, we have Chris Bessie 7, Deep Cuts in 13, 14th is Trent for 2005, tied with Cameron Winters, 16th is Hoove, 17th is Sench, 18th is Irish Clone, 19th is Transbeginist, 20th is Shiba, 21st is Gons, 27th is Fightboy 206. And finishing off the grid in 23rd is Abbas, tied with Nook Gibbon, Arkansas Dave or Dave Bartledo, 25th. Paul Newman in 26th, 27th is Yazid, 28th is Trev Hummer, tied with Pedro and Ali O. 31st is T.S. Jack Rowan, and 31st tied Frankie D. On to the Teams Championship, Spectre Racing. This is not up to date. So I will move over to this DM that I have here. So, from what I have been told, this is from some hypotheticals from Jake the Snack, Spectre Racing driver. Dark will take second place in the Drivers' Championship if he finishes ahead of Milton, higher than 8th. He is currently tied in the points, as we've seen. Jake the Snack is 2 points behind Suicidal Cookie, and he'll take 4th in the Drivers' Standing if he finishes higher than 5th. If it goes down to a tiebreaker on points, Jacob the Snack will lose out to Suicidal Cookie for 4th place in the Drivers' Championship because of his P2 finish earlier in the season. Spectre Racing hasn't clinched the team's standing, technically at the minute. If they combine for 31 points, they will win even with the Penguins 1-2, so P9, P10, P5 or P4 or P14, and that will see the Spectre Racing team clinch the Teams Championship from the Penguins. It's also highly theorised already that Ed Costetta has in fact won this season's championship. But we're just going to take a gander down the pit lane here. At Trover's pit lane, there is the safety car that still has its door open. That's been happening for the entire season. Taking a look. Pit lane. Taking some. Because my Assetto Corsa is absolutely on point. Trying to figure out what those tire blankets are. Got the penguins there. Oh, as we move on to quali, I'm upside down. So who are we going to grab out on quali? I can't tell who this is. It's Darkius, Pierre Moreno, out onto quali here with Pierre Moreno, or Darkius as he's known in Assetto Corsa. We'll see how he's been going. He's been doing apparently okay in practice from what I have seen, so we'll see how he goes here for quali at today's race. I am sat here now making out with my microphone as I normally do. There we go. That's a bit better for commentary. Ow. Just shuffling my chair in a bit forward here. I am somewhat monitoring YouTube chat as well today, so if there's anything that's broken, please put it in the YouTube chat. I will what's one for here? I will attempt to make sure that I look at it. I may miss stuff here and there if I am commentating on big battles. We have 20 minutes of quali. Not very long, to be completely honest. I'm just making sure that it works at 1080p. No, apparently YouTube only wants this to do 720. That's fine. I can exist with that. So we are out on track now with Darkius. I really need a better way to set this microphone up. I could really do it a bit closer. Oh well. I could also do with having my pop filter not take up as much room in my peripheral vision, but meh, you win some, you lose some. So here we go, through turn 1 and turn 2. Technically turn 1, turn 2, turn 3. Depending on how you classify it. Some people classify turn 1, that whole turn 1 section, as 3 corners. Some people classify it as 2. Some people even classify it as 1 big corner. For today, I'm going to classify it as 2 corners, because I have forgotten how to do, well, no, I haven't forgotten, sorry. It was just Streamlabs hasn't set up the track map properly. For some reason, I went for my dry run, and even though it was there and right, Streamlabs just wasn't having any of it today, so that's pretty good. We can see one of the Penguins cars ahead of Darkius getting a bit loose. No helmet or race suit for Darkius today either. He's using the default white as he goes for a big spin there. A big spin into what I call the Alex Albon corner. So that is going to be Darkius lost out on a quali lap. Now we're with Milt. Milt, as far as I remember, was first in the practice. Let's see. Actually, I think it might have been Ed Costetta. It was either Milt or Ed Costetta. Either way, it was close from what I saw. We'll have to see if Milt can make a good move here and hold first position on the quali. Every time, apparently, I say Milt, good luck, he apparently always crashes. So, you know, that's always a good thing. There we go, through the final corner. We can get a good look here of how much they cut over the pit entry line, which is a bit touchy, depending on who's looking. So that was his out lap. Here we go on to Milt's flying lap. T1, what we're going to call turn 1, 2, and 3. So through 1, through 2, and then through 3. Dave Bartledo setting the provisional pole time at his current minute in time of 156.363, with deep cuts just behind him of 156.720. Aaron Feidlach, Alan German, comes through with a 157.333. Automated luxury move to a 157.359. TS Jacker Rowan comes in to take second place at the minute with a 156.472, and HB Ho is currently in 6th with a 158.626. Have a look. This uphill corner here, in every game that I've played that has INTERLAGOS, I just love this section of corners here. this uphill right-hander into the Alex Albon corner. If you don't watch it on, you won't understand that, and it would go straight over your head. And then this downhill, very easy to overextend the car. Because remember, it comes back up as well. And into the right, long right-hander. Almost a hairpin, really, if you think about it. Depends on how you class it. Long downhill left-handed. He is that Glock corner. Sadly, no Timo Glock here today. That was funny. And in slow left-hander, you can use quite a bit of the curb from what I've found driving other cars around here. The outside curbs seem to be very... what's the word? Very forgiving on drivers here who want to use them. The inside curves can be a bit touchy. If you're good with curves, you can do it. Now let's see how Milt comes across the line at 156.36, free to beat. And across the line, what's it going to be? A 155.278, Milt's personal best around the circuit as well. Regular Snack comes in at 155.324. So only just clinching second. We now have Suicidal Cookie, one of the Waifu Hunters liveries coming in. Used to be called Next Level Racing. Earlier this season, changed their name to Waifu Hunters. That was an outlap, I think. So let's keep on with Suicidal Cookie across a lap. As we get the outside camera from Cookie, the number 7 car. Current time to beat is a 155.278. Sector 1 is a 28.743. Trev Hummer coming in to take 7th, 157.296. Suicidal Cookie will get a bit of a tow off of that Penguin Aficionado's car. I can't see from here which one it is, though. Ed Castelletto coming in to take pole, 155.032. Will we see Ed Castelletto or any of the other drivers in the 154s today? I think we will. It's just a case of when we will see it. If we'll see it during the race or if we will see it during the quali. I think that will be HB Ho that is in front of Suicidal Cookie there. I'm actually just grabbing my Sim Hub race overlay thing that I use, which gives me some very good information about what's happening. In fact, I open this up windowed. Full screen it into here. There we go. Someone came across to set a time. Currently, Suicidal Cookie is in 13th position. He is coming down towards the start-finish line with... oh, it's Hoove! Oh, HB Ho is Hoove on the groove on the move! Oh! Right, I'm dumb! Suicidal Cookie comes through to take 5th place. Currently, the top 2 times, it's so close between them. Ed Castelletto in first with a 155.032. Darkest at 155.034. It is that tight that my delta that I get on my second screen isn't actually showing a delta. It is 0.00. It's honestly so close between the two drivers. Here we have Transbaconist. Mr. William Treasure, the 500 QP machine, currently running in 14th position. With a 159.442 as an outlap. I don't think he's set his lap at this current minute in time, or it might have been invalidated. I'm not 100% sure. The thing is as well now, my swing arm is a full extension. So what that basically means is now whenever I try to move it, it moves my desk. Which I don't think is very conclusive. Ah! Put it on the wrong monitor. No. I don't want you on that monitor. Put it onto that one. There we go. Right, that was a little bit of argy. Channel's making us a 158.855. Everyone has had a time so far. However, there is 9.5 minutes left of today's session here at Interlagos. Vamos! Vamos! This may actually be a bit too close for people. You may be thinking that I'm now doing quite a bit of the old ASMR. As we are now with TS Jacker Rowan. Let's jump on board with TS Jacker Rowan. Currently running 8th in today's race. Not a bad time at all. Actually, quite a good time. In fact, running 8th for 156.472. Second place are the 146 drivers. The top 6 are all within the 155s. However, you know, this can change as time goes on. Obviously, people might be getting tow here and there too. Let's actually jump with Ed Costetta, current provisional pole sitter, here in the bright blue Dinoco car. Something was being said about merch not too long ago as well, so definitely very interesting to see how that goes. I know Racing Pals are apparently planning to make stickers. I hope that I get one of them soon for my efforts for the commentary. A wink, wink, nudge, nudge there for Darkius. Re-watches it later. Honestly, there's quite a bit of damage on the side of Ed Costetta's car there as well. Can you see? Well, as he comes around the corner, you can see quite a bit of damage to the right-hand side pod of the car. It looks like the front wing's fine. However, both side pods actually have damage there for Ed Costetta. I'm not sure what has happened to that car, but that might want to watch for his times here. Moving over now to grab this. Milt is only 0.05 off of first place as well, so that's very good for him. Samuel Ballas-Bois currently in 6th position. S. Ballas B as goes on the time tower. The last car to be in the 155s at the current minute in time, 155.620. As we can see one of the cars leaving the pit lane now. We'll see how Ed Costetta does around the circuit. One thing I always love watching is how Ed actually moves the wheel on the car. You can see quite a bit of soaring motion into the corner. Jacob the Snack coming in to take 4th, 155.101, so it's very close. It's actually within 1/10 of a second for the top 4 cars. It's within 1/2 of a second for the 6th to 1st as well. So the gap is very, very close together here at Interlagos for the cars. Which is actually even better for us as watchers, because it shows that the cars are still very close together, and this is something that I hope will go on for the race as well. As I am just adjusting my microphone a little bit, just to ensure that it's at the correct place, because stereo microphones are quite fun. In fact, they're not. They're an absolute pain, but Oh, well indeed. So, coming across the line, Ed Costetta's actually now in second place. Darkius, and Ed Costetta comes back as soon as I say that. Darkius moved in with the first 154, 154.970. Ed Costetta then replied immediately with a 154.9. And now Darkius is heading out onto the circuit. The gap, honestly, now has widened between the top 6 cars. Obviously, as Darkius set his 154.9, and then Ed Costetta immediately came back with his 154. Point 6, just under a 154.7. In fact, very good timing there from both drivers, in fact, to add amazing amounts of what's the word of I'll get the word in a moment. What's the word I'm looking for here? Just the right amount of English, clearly not my first language. Just the right amount of drama. There we go. Drama. Drama is the word I'm looking for here as we come up now to the final few minutes of today's race. Not of today's race, of today's quali session. Today's race. Am I drunk? No. Badly. I think with 2 minutes and 10 seconds left, can Darkius come back to take first place off of Ed Costetta? It will be Darkius versus Milt otherwise in second and third, which would be an absolutely amazing battle. Remember, they are tied second place in the championship after today's race. Well, during today's race. Day after last week's race, in fact. So definitely time to wake up and smell the coffee. Really, Des Jacarona going up to 9th place, 156.472. Pushing deep cuts down 10th position. All that needs to happen for Darkius to take second place in the championship is to finish ahead of Milt, apparently. He needs to finish ahead of Milt and higher than 8th. So, if Darkius has a bad race today and drops down below 8th position, which is currently held by Aaron Feidlach, Darkius, they're setting an absolutely banging time there, 154.474. Ed Costetta has caused a yellow flag. He's not going to be able to improve. So that's Ed Costetta in provisional second place, unless Milt can come and break the heart of the current defending champion. Maybe, well, soon to be, I think, champion after today's race. Cross the line comes Milt. What time's it going to be? No, it's a 156. Or is Milt on an outlap? I think Milt was on an outlap there, actually. So, Milt could still get it. Here, yes, Milt was, I think, on an outlap. He got 156.625. So, no, he wasn't on an outlap. He was on a flying lap. He has one more chance Darkest is currently on provisional pole. TS Jacarone apparently jumps up to 9th place again. Two drivers retiring to the pits. Dave Bartledo, TS Jacarone, Subnai, Trev Hummer, and Ed Costello. All having pitted. So they will be... As Jake at a snack there jumps up into the 54s himself, moving into provisional 3rd place, 154 by 8.53. Aaron Fidlack doesn't improve, to 8 for 156.275. Now coming through sector 2. Trans Baconist, 157.654. He'll be running his run of form of starting from the back, unless his name is Gons, in which you don't start Ollie at all. I wonder if he's watching. If he is, he'll probably be very angry. Someone has dropped out the server, which is handy. So we're now coming up to the finishing touches of overtime. In fact, a few cars left. We have Milt going through. There's one more car behind Milt and it's deep cuts. In front of him he has Balaz. And just coming across the line now is Automated Luxury. Can Automated Luxury improve? Yes, he can. Jumps to 9th position at 156.483. Milt heads into the pit lane. So that will be Milt's quali over. Failing to get out of the 55s. This will be an absolutely insane race, I feel, today. Some drivers there, maybe not with the quality that they were hoping for at the Brazilian Grand Prix today. However, you know what they say, there is no points for Saturday. And the circuit will punish people. It did during quali. Getting a good look over the track, actually. You can see the skid marks there from where people have gone flying off to the front, where people have had mistakes. Here and there, crowds in the stands as well. Yeah, medical helicopter. Yeah, look down at the safety car. Here, the final time of today's race. We had one safety car around a couple of rounds ago at Monaco. The safety car was actually utilised. And Dave Bartledo, who is here today, starting in 7th, made a very, very good job of being our safety car driver. Wolf Team Racing car garage there, no one there for today. I'll let the auto start system do its thing. So, the lineup for today's race. Starting in pole is Darkius, followed by Ed Costello. 3rd is Jake at a snack. 4th is Milt. 5th is Suicidal Cookie. 6th is Samuel Balaz-Bois. 7th is Dave Bartledo. 8th is Aaron Fidlack. 9th is TS Jacarone. 10th is Automated Luxury there, who has a red name for some obscure reason. 11th is Deep Cuts. 12th is Subnai. 13th is Trev Hummer. 14th is Hoove. And 15th is Trans Baconist, beeping his horn at me. Angry. And one thing to remember, the horns will be out in force today, I feel, as this will be the final race for the Skip Barbers in this series. A new car is being worked on for the series, and it will be moving into prominence for the next series out. This will be the final race for the Skip Barbers. And I think one thing we will all say is we will be sad to see them go, as we're getting ready. 10. The lights are going out. And it's lights out and away we go. Ed Costello getting an absolutely amazing start. Milt not moving up into the position as we head into turn 1. A few cars getting a bit of argy-bargy now as we head into the first corner. Darkius is ahead. And then we look behind us. 3 wide behind as well. Ballas Bulwar is fighting against Suicidal Cookie as Milt is attacking Jake at a snack there into turn 3. Now heading onto the straight. Has Milt gotten ahead? Yes, he has. Suicidal Cookie darts to the inside. Ed Costello is defending from Milt as well into turn 4. Have a look how they goes into the 4th corner. Cookie's carrying quite a lot of speed. Ed Costello is defending both Cookie and Jake at a snack. I think that was go off, but they get back on safely. Aaron Feidlach is in 7th position under attack from, I think that's Dave Bartledew. Behind him, yes it is. They're heading up into the long uphill right-hander. Here we get the onboard as Dave Bartledew is attempting around the outside. It could be a good move. We'll have to see. Will he get the speed advantage? But remember, he'll get the inside into the long downhill left-handed and rises back up. Yes, he does. He makes the move there for 7th place absolutely beautifully. Now, T.S. Jack of Rowan might have a go against Aaron Feidlach, having a look around the outside, but I'm not sure if that was actually for fighting or because he was going a bit deep. Further ahead as well, Milt has made the move on Ed Costello for 2nd place with a 1 second gap behind himself. Now, it's a big lock up there from Automated Luxury, almost taking out the back of T.S. Jack of Rowan into the 2nd to last corner, 3rd to last depending on how you count corners. Remember, we have 45 minutes of racing. And I'll tell you something, it does give some absolutely amazing racing here. We're watching all the cars fly through towards the final corner. We're now on board with Subnight. He's on the back of Deep Cuts. He has Trev Hummer on the inside as well. Let's have a look. Trev Hummer down the inside. There is Subnight going to attempt to go. He's trying to go around the outside, maybe to give himself the inside line. Milt has gone deep at turn 1. As someone goes round, Milt has contact there with Ballas out of turn 3. Milt now down to 7th place after running in 2nd. I'm not sure what happened there. We did see it. We did see the end of it. It looked like Ballas went round. It looked like Milt went quite deep into the 2nd part of the first corner set. As Trev Hummer now going down the inside, trying to keep himself out of the rear quarter of Deep Cuts. Milt is now down to 11th position. He's got some climbing to do as Darkius has moved 3 seconds away from Ed Costello. As up the inside into the right-hander goes Milt. Beautiful move there from... what do you call it if you're from the Netherlands? Dutch? No, that's Denmark, isn't it? No, that's Danish. I don't know. Now looking at Subnight. On the rear of this train, Darkius absolutely accelerated away. We're looking now at Hoof and a Groove on the move. It's Hoof fighting against Transbaconist. Now back with Mill, who's just made the move on Deep Cuts and will now be on the rear of T.S. Jack Rowan, a driver for the Penguin Aficionados team, the junior team of the Penguins. One day a driver might actually be called up from the Penguin Aficionados into the main Penguins team. Would be very, very interesting. At the minute, Jort isn't here, so Jort's seat has been taken by Dave Bartledew, who's currently running in 5th. So I think Milt will be quite happy with that situation from Dave Bartledew, who has been around and about the series in different roles, different teams, depending on what's been needed from him. T.S. Jack of Rowan getting very deep. Milt going very deep at turn 1. Actually opened himself up the Deep Cuts now. I think Dave Bartleby went around. Yes, he did. Dave Bartleby was going very, very slow. So note to self, don't compliment a driver as Milt heads up the inside of Dave Bartleby. It looks like Deep Cuts follows. Yes, he does, but Deep Cuts might get the inside line now into turn 4. No, Milt covers it off. Dave Bartleby is also making moves behind. Cuts has been moved down. TS Jack Ryan just up ahead. We might see a move there. Yep. TS Jack Ryan gets through. Bartleby now too wide with Deep Cuts. They head into the first long right-hander. Second long right-hander. Well, second hairpin right-hander. What's the word I was looking for there? English is clearly not my first language today. But let's have a look what Deep Cuts is going to attempt to do. He might try to go around a long way. No, he splits in behind. Aaron Vidlak has moved down to 10. Your current top 3 is Darkest, Ed Costetta, and Jake at a snack. So as it currently stands, Darkest will take second place in the Drivers' Championship, and Spectre Racing Outfit will take the win of the Constructors. However, this is not over until it's over. Anything could happen. Keep in mind the gap between P1 and P2 is currently 3 seconds. 3.5 seconds there, about 3.6. According to my thingy. Instead of setting the best lap of the race so far, 155.130. A tenth ahead of Darkest's best time. As it currently stands, you can see a few cars, a lot of extension happening at turn 1 there as well. Now we're on Milt. He's chasing the rear of Automated Luxury, one of our VR drivers, in fact. Oh, let's have a look here, side by side. Automated Luxury, is he going to be able to get the cut back? No, yes, maybe, I don't know. A good exit could give him the run here on Milt that he would want. Automated Luxury, part of Team Vapor, would want a good finish here at the final race of the season, obviously because they want to come and talk to me. Now, one thing I will say though is Milt does have some catching up to do. Suicidal Cookie. It doesn't look like it's very far. In reality, it's just under 3-second gap between the two drivers. Here, the lockup. Here, the tyres absolutely screaming, in fact. Now we're with Deep Cuts. He's chasing the back of Aaron Fodolak, who's made his way back up to 9th position. Look how he goes here. Oh, very close to the rear there of Aaron Fodolak, the number 119 car. Very close indeed. Someone goes very deep there at turn 1. It was actually Aaron Fidlak, yeah. All the way round, dropped down to last place now. Not a very good move there for Aaron Fidlak. He's going to have quite a bit of making up to do. Look here, yeah, Transvagnus made the move. I think Balaz has gone round as well behind. Balaz is out of the race. In fact, Balaz has dropped out of the race there. I think he might have maybe had an internet drop. He might have actually had a crash out. But Balaz is out of today's race. There, we are waiting now for a good battle to unfold. here. I am just checking YouTube chat. Nothing really on for the minute, so we will get back to the racing. We're currently watching Deep Cuts as he chases the back of Dave Bartleby, who is in fact chasing the back of TS Jack-A-Rowan. Darkest has set the best lap, currently at a 155.030. Have a look, Dave Bartleby. Oh, and there's contact between TS Jack-A-Rowan and Dave Bartleby there as they now head up towards the first corner. Who's going to go inside? Who's going to go outside? Dave Bartleby actually having a break there by the sound of it for TS Jack-A-Rowan, who actually decided very late to go inside. In fact, Dave Bartleby will stay behind for now. However, I'm sure he'll be looking for the overtake very quickly. There's, yep, side by side now down towards turn 4. It looks like Dave Bartleby got the exit. You can see the speed difference between the two cars. But oh, it is evening out. Now we'll get to see side by side through the 4th corner. The inside line is definitely faster. Deep Cuts makes a move up the inside. Oh, there's contact between TS Jack-A-Rowan and Deep Cuts there. That's moved both of the drivers down. Deep Cuts went very deep. Sorry, TS Jack-A-Rowan went very deep there as HB Ho, or Brad Hoovengroove on the move. It's Hoove. Has gone very much so up into the fray now on the fight against Deep Cuts. Trans Bacon has made a move up to 12th position as well. Look here. Have a look. Trans Baconist on the back of TS Jack-A-Rowan in the draft, in fact. I'm getting absolutely spam message on Discord. Oh, down the inside there, big lockups. Yes, Jack-A-Rowan dropping out of the race now as well. It seems like this circuit has been giving drivers a hard time, in fact. Here is Brad Hooven and Groove on the move. It's Hoove. Ooh, let's have a look. Where is Dave Bartleby going to go against Automated Luxury? It could be inside, could be outside. He was looking, but for now he stays behind. I'm sure he'll be looking for the move here up to P6. He's right on the rear of that Team Vapor car, in fact. Right on the rear of it. You can see them crest the hill. Inside goes Dave Bartleby. The car looked quite loose there. We have seen the outside line can in fact be faster. And yes, in this situation it has been again. Because you get to defend the inside into that downhill left-hander with 29 minutes and 55 seconds left on the clock. Look here, he'll definitely be in the draft of Automated Luxury. So Dave Bartleby, he's actually going outside. So. Through turn one, we've seen the outside can work here. Oh, very loose there for Dave Bartleby. Very loose. He goes round. Dave Bartleby round at the turn one complex. How many positions is he going to lose because of this? Is he going to get out in front of Brad Hoover? Or it's going to be tight. Let's see if he can get up to speed. No, he loses out to Brad Hoover. Again, turn one. Oh, but Dave Bartleby right back down the inside at turn four. Very good move there from him. Now with Sumner, who's chasing the rear of Automated Luxury. Automated Luxury has been chased quite a bit, but he has managed to retain position quite a bit, in fact, of today's race. Gap is 1.2 seconds. Oh, very heavy on the downshift there for sub 9. Get another lap now onto lap 9 for the lead lap vehicles. You can see the gaps have started to extend during today's race. That isn't always a bad thing. In fact, it could sometimes actually be quite useful. As two cars have in fact DNF from today's race, TS Checker Rowan and Balaz. So with 26.5 minutes left of today's race, there's still time for battles to unfold. Milt is actually starting to claw the time back to Suicidal Cookie. Keep in mind, Milt had that big crash from second position. It looked like he went deep into the first set of corners. So, and that was about 5 odd lap ago, and had that contact with Balaz as well. Put him very much on the back foot. But with the drop rounds, I do expect that Milt will be very much on the back foot, and will be having to stop for third place in the Drivers' Championship after today's race due to the drop round system. You have your two, I think it's your two lowest results dropped. Which means that you do get two chances to have a bad race. without it really affecting you. It's not too random that are chosen, it's your 2 worst performances. So if you have 2 DNFs, your 2 DNFs will be dropped. If you finish every race, your 2 lowest positions will be dropped off of your standings. And I really do find drop rounds interesting, of the fact that they sort of add an air of uncertainty into a series. Not in a bad way either. You'll be sat there like, oh, do I use these drop rounds tactically? Which I have seen done in other series as well, actually, with drop rounds, where drivers will look at the series in general, at the tracks, and where everything's going, and what the actual circuits are on the calendar, and they'll identify the ones that they know they're going to be, off the pace at, and off, not at their best, not at where they should be. And it's very useful because you can sort of, with drop rounds, live in the fact that that a bad result isn't going to be the end of your campaign. However, this also means that if, for example, in a series like this where you get 2 drop rounds, you get scored for 8 rounds, if there are 3 tracks you're bad at, one of them's going to have to count. And if there's like any other tracks that you're not too sure of, then you're going to have to make sure that, obviously, you need to then make sure you don't have off days if you're going to use those 2 drop rounds, or however many drop rounds you get, to the best of their ability. And it is just something that you do need to look at during sim racing. You need to make sure that you look at what you can do with it. It doesn't mean like everyone's been using it tactically, but there as deep cuts during my random rambling, running side by side with Trev Hummer towards the first set of corners. Let's see what happens. Will Trev Hummer try the inside line? Yes, he will. Deep cuts though, keeping it to the outside to get the inside line into the second corner. Now through the third corner. They're side by side, but it looks like Trev Hummer actually gets the launch over deep cuts, or does he? Well, they are side by side. Yeah, you can see Trev Hummer is starting to pull ahead. Deep cuts maybe squeezing him a bit too much there. They are side by side. Deep cuts will get the inside into turn 4. Will Trev Hummer be able to stick with him? No. Just due to how much faster the inside line actually is against the outside line. However, Trev Hummer is still quite close, within a 1/10 of a second to the back of deep cuts. They head through the long uphill right hand. You can see the understeer, or the oversteer, sorry, occurring. Trev Hummer using the full width of the track, maybe abusing track limits just a little bit. Bit of snap oversteer. Now we're on with Milt, who's still chasing the rear of Suicidal Cookie. However, the gap has come down to just over half a second. In fact, just over half a second between these 2 drivers. We will have to see how that goes. There's someone round just behind them, we see. Was that just my imagination? I'm not too sure. We are now running still with Milt as he chases the rear of Suicidal Cookie. We will have to see how this goes down on the gears. He wants to stick so close to the rear of that Waifu Hunter's car. Well, but he actually lost a bit of time on the exit of turn 4. Now we head up to the long uphill right-hander further down the grid. Aaron Feidlach has made the move for 11th across Brad Hoove in the groove on the move. It's Hoove. Or will Milt try the inside? Keep in mind the inside isn't the best of lines here, as we've seen already this race. The outside line can actually give you the inside into the next corner, but no, Suicidal Cookie tries maybe to cut back, but in fact loses it. loses the position to Milt. Which is definitely interesting. But that is definitely an attempted move there, but it's one that we've not seen very much of this race. Sometimes it works and sometimes it doesn't. In fact, the inside line can mean that the person going outside can get the better run into the downhill left-hander. However, it does all depend on the exit and the entrance factors. Our Cookie is chasing the rear of Milt. However, he is starting to lose ground, at least over that lap. We'll have to see if Suicidal Cookie can stick with Milt. Not sure. So, after today's race, we'll do the interviews as normal. For the top three, which as it currently stands is Darkius, Ed Costetta, and Jake the Snack. However, 18 minutes 20 seconds left. I'm sure Milt will want to cut down that 4.3 second gap between himself and the Spectre Racing car. Can actually see Jacob's Snackless car just ahead there on the road, just going through turn one. As we headed over to start lap. Oh, that didn't sound very happy on the downshift there for Suicidal Cookie, who has now dropped back to over 7 tenths, 8 tenths now behind Milt as well. The 17 minutes and 15 seconds left on the clock. A lap time is around a 155, 157 around there. Between 155 and 157 as it currently stands. The best lap of today's race is a 155.030. So yeah, around a 155 to 157. We're going to averagely say 156. Because that's easier. All on the curb very much. I'm sure that Suicidal Cookie will be trying to look for any points that he can get back at Milt. You can see though that Milt takes a wider line in to get straightest run out, and Cookie seems to be going a lot deeper in the uphill left-hander, which is sometimes entertaining to watch. Sometimes it doesn't help. All depends on like what you sort of perceive as being a line that you want to take, really. Is that through the second to last corner, third to last corner, actually, sorry. Depends on how you count the corners, because some people count this as a corner, which I don't. So, very much on the power, 9 tenths separating them. We're now going to jump back to Dave Baldo, who's chasing the rear of Trev Hummer, as we're riding on board for quite a long time with Cookie there. Now, Dave Baldo has enjoyed the last corner and a run up to the first corner as an overtaking spot today. However, he's had some issues into the first corner. I think having 2 crashes into the first corner. In fact, we've got just over 15 minutes left of today's race, and Dave Bartley heading to the outside of Trev Hummer towards turn 1. They are wheel to wheel here. However, Dave Bartley will get the outside line, which does give the advantage into the second part of the corner as you get to defend the inside so much harder. What a move there for Dave Bartley on Trev Hummer. We're now jumping up to Subnai, who's still chasing the rear of Automated Luxury into turn 4. You don't want to go on the outside at turn 4 because you're just able to get squeezed out, in fact, and lose so much more time. You want the exit on turn 5, which you have just gone through now, to get the run up to turn 6. The right-hander, in fact, just to try and poke it out the inside or even get the overspeed to try and get around the outside. All depends on how you see it going. But further up the grid, I didn't think I'd see this happen. Ed Costetta is now on almost the rear wing of Darkius, the current race leader. There will be a battle for P1 today with 14 minutes left on the clock. These two have come wheel to wheel before this season, and it has always produced entertaining racing. Both drivers have been very much on form this season as well. Darkius was almost looking like he was actually on for a title challenge. However, Ed Costetta, the defending champion as well, definitely has been looking strong this season too. And we'll very much be interested to see how this battle goes, as I think it will just be an on-track battle. It won't be a battle for the standings. Ed Costetta 15 points ahead of Darkius in the driver's standings. So I think Ed Costetta will take this title this season again. On the bounce as well. Ed Costetta always on the pace for the Skippy. He used to do lap guides, in fact, when he was able to with his time, and it has always been very, very interesting to watch how he drives the car around compared to Darkier and compared to Milt as well. 3 very quick drivers. As Dave Bartley has yellow flagged, he's gone off at turn 1 again. That's the safety car. He's clearly not having the best of times with turn 1. Now 7 tenths, sorry. Between 6 and 7 tenths separating the two drivers. Dave Bartley has dropped back down to 11th. He has climbed up, but each time it has come absolutely crumbling down around him, which isn't great. In fact, it must be really disheartening, for the driver, especially if you've been working to fix the mistake that you made earlier, and then make it again later in the race, and in fact undo what you have done. Over half a second now. 6 tenths separating Ed Costetta from Darkius. They will be wheel to wheel towards the end of this race, I feel. Ed Costetta already starting to maybe be a bit of a stickler into Darkius's wing mirrors here. You can see he almost tried to take the defensive line into turn 4, maybe thinking that Ed Costetta was closer behind him than he originally thought. Oh yeah, very good camera angle there in the curb. Oh, a bit loose on the rear there for Darkius. That's going to open up Ed Costetta, I think. Maybe closing the gap just by a little bit. It is stagnating around 6 tenths though, which has been definitely a sticking point for the two drivers. Ed Costetta definitely looking hungry behind as he takes a bit of grass into the entry of Timo Glock corner. 11 tenths now. See, I think Ed Costetta will be in the draft of Darkiest. Very close there. And one, it looks like Ed Costetta has worked the gap back down, in fact, which is definitely interesting. We're now at the 10-minute remaining mark. Well, these two drivers being the closest on track. At this current moment in time, I believe. And it's happened before where Ed Costetta has clinched a victory on the final lap. Could it happen again today? Before that was against Milk. Could it happen to Darkiest, in fact? See how much more curb Ed Costetta takes on the outside of turn 6. In fact, he takes so much more than Darkiest. He gets the entire car on the curb. Darkiest normally gets one wheel, maybe two. Sometimes just doesn't hit it whatsoever. And I think it shows by the fact that Ed Costetta has closed the gap down in Sector 2, but then it extends. They head through towards the third sector as well. Ed Costetta will have a couple more laps. I think maybe 4, maybe 4, maybe 5, depending. 4 or 5 laps left in today's race, I believe. And Ed Costetta will have the time to pull that gap back, but he needs to start pulling back attempts now, really, against Darkiest. A lot of curb there for Darkiest out of turn 2. Automated Luxury has made a move on Subknife further back as well for 6th place. So those two are definitely out as the racing goes on. Actually, let's go and check in with Automated Luxury versus Subknife. Oh man, this is 6th place. Deep Cuts is also appearing behind as well. See the rear tyre there. Watch here as Subknife goes through the high rear wing. As Subknife just turn 1, actually trying to get the inside. In fact, might have been a better move for him to take the outside. Oh, is there a bit of contact there? Or there could have been, in fact, but this has allowed Deep Cuts to close up now to within a second of his teammate and Subknife. Well, this could be interesting. Remember, you don't want the outside into turn 4, because you can just get squeezed out, and that might actually open the door for Deep Cuts a bit, as they actually managed to run too wide through turn 4 and 5. Absolutely amazing there, running from the two drivers. Subknife will get the inside into turn 6. Now towards turn 7. Which curb's going to be taking a lot of curb there from the Team Vapor drivers. We get on the rear wing. We can just see them battling. Subknife getting the inside line into the downhill left hand. And you just see how much the two Team Vapor cars are working. Remember, now they are teammates. They may actually be able to give themselves a bit of a boost up the straight as well, with 6 minutes and 13 seconds left in today's race. We are coming up towards the closing stages, but Automated Luxury is defending actually quite hard against his teammate, in fact. Ooh, quite a lot of curb there in the second to last corner. Because now they may be able to give themselves draft down the straight. They are going too wide. Across the pit entry lines. Towards turn 1. Deep Cuts is coming in. There's a few more cars back there. A bit of a clump. Oh, who's going to go where? Automated Luxury holds the inside line. Deep Cuts almost tries to cut back, in fact. He should have, in my mind, kept it out wide to get the inside line and run down towards the second part of turn 1. However, that has not come to fruition as yet. Let's jump back with Aaron Feidlak on Dave Bartledew. In fact, 3 tenths separating them, 7 tenths separating Bartledew and Trevor. No, we're not. We're going to jump back up to Deep Cuts, who gets the inside line into turn 4 against his teammate there. Good move, in fact, from Deep Cuts to snatch the inside line from his teammate Automated Luxury into the 4th corner. Now he'll be opened up onto the rear of Subnight, but the gap is 1.5 seconds. And he'll still have his teammate behind to contend with as well. With 4.5 minutes left on today's race. So there will be three laps left of today's race. So I think we'll be looking at a 24, maybe 25 lap race. I think I'm gonna stake my claim on 23. But further up, Ed Costetta has actually closed the gap very much now to Darkius. 3 tenths, 4 tenths separating the two drivers. This is going to be an absolute heartbreak, I think, for one of them. Could it be Ed Costetta? He has looked like he's had the pace in the closing portion of this race to get the win. However, I know that Darkius will defend so heavily against Ed Costetta. See the two cars absolutely nose to tail between themselves. Milt has cut the gap down between himself and Jack in a snack by 2 seconds as well. So I think this will be Darkius taking the win. Sorry, not the win. The second place of the driver standings from Milt. However, we will not know until the drop rounds are applied. Keep in mind, you do have to ensure that there are drop rounds. Well, there are drop rounds. Oh, there goes Aaron Feidlak off the circuit. I think at turn 4. Very good time to switch to Aaron Feidlak there. Yeah, that is turn... I don't know. That is turn 4. As now, Trev Hummer is side by side with Dave Bartledew. Getting actually pushed onto the outside line, in fact. Where's he going to try? Don't know, but we do have to jump up now to Ed Costetta against Darkius. The battle for the lead. They are nose to tail as they run down towards turn 4. Ed Costetta will get the draft. He's going to the inside line already against Darkius here. Side by side, who's going to get the lead? They are so close. As into turn 4, Darkius drops back. Oh, Ed Costetta holding the lead for now, but look how close they are. Darkius absolutely on the rear wing of the Dinoco car. The number 1 and the number 2 car. The returning champion and the soon-to-be maybe manager of the team's champion. Racing nose to tail. Darkius is going to try down the inside at turn 7. No, he's not. He's staying behind me now with 1.5 minutes left. On today's race, there will be, I think, one more lap after this. So yeah, my estimate of 23 laps was absolutely on point. Hey, it was, as the kids are saying, on flake. Yes. Sorry, I should really not try to be cool, but it doesn't work. In fact, Ed Costetta now absolutely extending the gap between himself and Darkius. Ed Costetta has been eating away that gap as the race has gone on, but I think this might be the final race win for Ed Costetta, who will be today crowned as the Drivers' Champion, I believe. And his campaign this season has been really good in my mind. He has actually worked it very, very well. Having a look as we head into the final lap, where people have finished. In fact, Ed Costello will be in the lead of the Drivers' Championship for 191 points today. He has been an absolute force to be reckoned with. His 2 drop rounds being Suzuka, where he gained a 3rd place, and Kyalami, where he gained 14th. The rest of the series, his lowest finish has been P3. He's had out of 10 races. Lowest finish out of the 10 races, if we count all of them, has been 14th. However, he's gotten 3 third places, 3 second places, 2 third places, and then 11th this season. He has been an absolute force to be reckoned with this season, in my mind, as we now head on to the final lap. We are on the final lap, in fact. The final lap now. We are going to head up to the start-finish line to crown the victor of the championship today. And here he comes across the line to take the victory at today's race is Ed Costello to come along and take the final victory of the season, followed by Darkius in 2nd place. Jacob the Snack will come through soon. However, that battle for 1st place in the final laps of today's race. Honestly, that has been such a battle to remember. It was so close between the 2. Jacob the Snack finishing in 3rd. 4th for Mill. The Cookie will come through for 5th. So, just setting up for the interviews now. We'll wait for the drivers to tell me that they are ready. But what a race this has been today. The final race, a send-off for the Skip Barbers as well after today's race. Oh, that's nice. Discord says that you're live on YouTube. That's lovely. I thought it said that I was live. I thought it said that I would have been live on Twitch. That's quite nice to see, in fact. So we're just waiting for the tags from the men who I want to come and speak to today. Or for the start of the race. So, oh, what a race this was today. Waiting now for the interviews, and then I will have an announcement. So we're going to get Darkius in first. I'll also actually get in his teammate Jacob the Snack. 1 and 2. So, hello, the Spectre Racing outfit. If the calculations I've been sent are right, the team champions.
Indeed. Yeah. Hell yes. That one felt good.
How does that feel, though, having the team championship, I think, from the Penguins who were defending it this season?
Well, we set out from the very beginning of the year to win the team championship. We weren't too concerned about the driver championship, so making our goal is definitely the best feeling ever.
And Darkius, coming to you, I think you've got 2nd in the drivers' championship this season. How do you feel beating Milt?
That was probably the best fight we've had 3 seasons in terms of championships. In the past, obviously Ed won most of the seasons, all 3 seasons, if I recall correctly. So it's been good to have such a close fight between me and Milt, and it all came down to the wire, didn't it? And that one felt good. I tried to manage the race this last race that we had. I tried to manage it as best as I could, and it paid off.
And moving on to next season, as I believe this is the final race we're doing for the Skip Barber. How are you two feeling? Is Spectre Racing going to remain with this lineup, Darkius? Are you excited for next season? Give me your thoughts.
Yeah, I mean, you bet you that we're going to come back next season, bigger and better, and faster. I think, I mean, if Jacob would be so kind as to accept.
Oh, I have no plans to leave. I was hoping you'd say that.
So yeah, definitely next season is going to be the same kind of outfit. Expect a few new liveries, but otherwise there'll be more of us too.
And Jacob, how do you feel about next season?
Oh, I'm so excited. We have a special new car in the oven still cooking, and it's going to be such a unique experience, a league with its own vehicle. I hope that brings out a bunch of people and we have full grids every race like we've been having so far in the Skippies.
Awesome. Thank you for coming and speaking to me, guys. Congratulations on the team's championship. Who knows, next season you might be able to get it on the double, maybe even a driver's championship. Who knows?
Who knows? Let's here's to hoping.
Awesome.
Hell
See you
yeah,
later,
Husky,
guys.
thank you for doing all the streaming this season, man. It's been a blast to watch these races back when you've been shouting over them.
That's my job. I am a shouty man.
Bullying.
Thank you then, guys. I'll let you go. Congratulations once again.
Thank you.
See you later.
So we're now going to get in the man who has come through again to take the Drivers' Championship once again. Hello, Ed. Another title on the bounce. How does that feel?
Hey, Husky. Feels pretty good. That was definitely a good way to send off the Skippies. That looked like a good race from the cockpit. Hopefully, it was a good race from the stands.
And your final lap battle actually against Dark. I was looking and I was seeing the gap extend and then get closer and then extend. Were you by any chance trying to up the drama?
Oh, I was actually going flat out. To be honest, there was a point there in the very beginning where he was 4 seconds up, and I was like, "There's no chance unless he messes up." And because he was, he had that blistering Q lap. I thought if I got into the fours, I'd be fine, and then he comes and sets like a mid four. He definitely had the speed. I think I maybe just kept the tires under me just a little bit better than he did. But he was also, kind of racing for second with Milt, so in the championship. So I'm sure he had that in his back of his mind too.
And something I want to ask you, because I'm not 100% sure. What are your plans for next season? Are you returning to us, or is this you hanging up your boots with, I think, a third title? I think?
I don't know. It'd be, nice to go out on top. But we tested that car last week. It was the first time I drove it, and it was a lot of fun. So TBD, not quite sure yet.
Well, I do hope we do see you next season. Again, another title on the bounce. Oh, I think it's going to be close next season if you do come back to us. The car, as far as I know, is quite close in pace for everyone. Anyway, Ed, I got no questions. For once in my life, I have no question.
Record this moment. Well, this championship was. I think I overheard Dark in his interview a little bit. Was certainly the closest we had, and so I feel like we're gonna just keep getting closer and closer. And it'll be fun introducing that new car because all of us have learned a lot of skills over the last 3 seasons in the Skippy. Be nice to it's nice that we're kind of moving on and we can take those and apply it to higher horsepower, faster car.
Yeah, it's definitely going to be a season to watch next season. Anyway, Ed, I'm going to let you go. Congratulations on your title today. Who knows, next season we might see you with another one.
Sounds good. Fingers crossed.
Who knows?
Thanks a lot.
Thank you, mate. Have a good evening. So that was Ed Costello coming through to take the victory. Now, I do have an announcement to make. I am just waiting for someone to jump into the commentary room. This will be my final commentary for the Skip Barber Series here at Racing Pals. I've had 2 previous seasons of absolutely mind-blowing racing. It's been close up and down the grid. There have been heartbreaks. There have been ups and downs for all the drivers. There have been mistakes. There have been crashes. There have been amazing battles. However, it is not in vain. I will be on track next season in the Skip Barber Championship, or whatever it's going to be called next season. And taking my place, I want to introduce Alexander Rhodes. Hello.
Good evening.
So, this is... I was thinking about doing this since you came in as the person who was going to take over. Sort of a handing of the torch sort of moment. I don't know how much of the Skip Barber series you have watched, but how do you feel coming into it?
A bit nervous, if I'm honest. It's one of those things where I've done a few smaller championships, lots of tin tops, that sort of thing, but nothing open wheel and nothing quite as big as what you guys have got going on right now.
I'm betting, though, the excitement, at least for me when I started, because I started very new with the Skip Barber Championship. I'd only done one thing, which was a test, actually, for someone else who I know that does commentary. And I stuck with it. And then Darkest came to me one day and just went, we've got this season, we've got this series, do you want to commentate it? And I was very new at the start, but I think, I don't know about you, but I had such excitement going into the first race. It's always an exciting time, isn't it?
For me, it was complete polar opposite. I was nervous to the point where I felt a little bit ill for the first time I was getting on the mic to watch people race. But as the championships rolled on, I got more and more and more excited for each little event I'd be commentating on and streaming. And yeah, by the end of it, I was just raring to go each weekend. And I'm really looking forward to that again. But, you know, between now and then, there's going to be a lot of nerves building up, I think.
And we don't even have the title, not title, that's not the word I'm looking for here, the calendar set up. But would you like to tell the stream where they can catch what will be the Skip Barber Championship after today's race for next season?
Yeah, well, it will still be on Twitch. It will be at my Twitch, however. So if you want to give it a follow in anticipation, you're more than welcome to do so. It is twitch.tv /AJR_motorsport. That's where I've been streaming the commentary, and I'm looking forward to seeing all of you there. More importantly, I'm looking forward to sort of screaming at everybody and cheering everybody on along the way, because you know, I know a few of the guys who are racing, and man, it's going to be exciting, isn't it?
It really is. I've loved the 2 seasons I've done here, and I just hope that for the next season we do come back to give you that same level of battling and that same level of excitement that we get as well. And I will definitely be very interested in watching the streams back. I've not actually driven in the series that has been commentated before. I've always been the commentator. So it's definitely going to be an exciting time. I think the nerves will be there. But I do wish you all the best, Alexander. Good luck, and I think you're going to be great.
Thank you very much, and I am looking forward to it. I'll hopefully see you on track sometime soon.
Awesome. And now it's that time to shut the door on the final series of Skip Barber here at INTERLAGOS. It has been an absolutely amazing 2 seasons I've done. The first season before I came in apparently was also amazing. As Ed said, it's probably going to be a lot closer in the new car. But from me, for the final time as the Skip Barber commentator, everyone at Racing Pals, and Alex, the new commentator, thank you for watching for these previous 2 seasons. We hope to see you on the next season. Thank you, and good night.